Councilmember Williams.
Thank you. I just noticed that we have 5 minutes. Is that right?
You have a lot more questions.
Thank you for being here. Obviously, you have a very impressive resume and history and experience. My question is specific about a specific industry. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to as community cars. I'd love to know what a community car is, but we often call dollar vans. Some people call them commuter vans. I think they're on delivery. I'm trying to find out what your position is. Last few years, former council member Leroy Comrie and I worked very hard to try to bring them into the fold. They definitely provide a service in our communities that it goes unfulfilled if they're not there. We were focusing on the vans that are licensed by TLC and have insurances, and so we were trying to get stepped up enforcement, particularly of those who do not have TLC license and do not have insurances. I'm hoping that increases. But in general, they're still technically not performing under what is legally accepted, and the city has gone to them during times of crisis and then kind of just ignored them after that. So I want to know what your thoughts are on those.
When I referred to community cars, I was actually referring to the livery industry, but I refer to commuter vans or dollar vans as a separate group, but one that I think deserves and needs and has for a long time deserved attention that it has not gotten. The people that use commuter vans are generally people that are in areas where mass transit is not available, and it's at a price point that it can be used as an everyday means of transportation, which is not an option for a livery or a taxi. That's just not feasible. So there's a strong need to professionalize the commuter van industry, elevate those that actually follow the TLC rules and enforce against those that don't. There's a huge safety component. Those that are not following the TLC rules could be unlicensed drivers that haven't been drug tested, vehicles that haven't been inspected, maybe balding tires and brakes, and they're moving groups of people around, not just single passengers. So I think it's twofold to try to bring them into the fold, as you put it. One is enforcement. Enforcement is key, and that has to be done in cooperation with the community, because the community has to know that an enforcement action is going to be occurring in their area. It disrupts a lot of people's daily transportation when you seize an illegal commuter van, as well as with the local police precincts, because it's an event to seize a commuter van, and the police precincts need to be involved. But I would look forward to working further with council on how to make those enforcement efforts more frequent and more seamless. And then second, enforcement only works if there's something that comes up behind it to replace that illegal business. So encouraging, incentivizing, and professionalizing the commuter vans, the legal commuter vans, so that they can take the place of the illegal ones and eradicate illegal commuter vans would be another priority of mine.
Thank you, and I look forward to everything you said is great, and I'm looking forward to hopefully speaking with you about that soon, bringing some of our Brooklyn community van industries and speaking with you. We're having great conversations with the former commissioner. Hopefully that continues. I'm also, this is not for you, but just the people watching, hoping that they will be brought into the fold in terms of unionization and things of that nature as well. I think it's about time that the city recognizes them also legitimately and completely, even in times of non-crisis. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Also, I wanted to know, how do you think the green cars are working now, trying to get some of the services to areas that normally haven't had them?
I think that they're a success. I see them much more frequently in Brooklyn, which is a visual sign to me that there's growth there and happy growth. They're filling a service gap. We've done, I think, almost 3 million trips since they started in June. And they seem to create a small business opportunity, a viable small business opportunity, because I believe almost 5,000 or 4,000 people are waiting in line to buy them in the second wave if they are issued. So I think that they have done two things. They've brought service to areas that did not have legal hail service. They've helped not eradicate, but curb the illegal hail service. But they've also given people within a community an economic opportunity that just simply wasn't there previously.
Might as well use mine. 1970. My last point, I'm not sure, haven't kept, records, but it was always difficult for me to hail a cab. I'm a young black male. I don't know how young you are, but I have my hair and I have Tourette's syndrome. It's a tough combination in trying to get a cab in New York City. And I wanted to know your opinion of that. Has it gotten better? I've actually had my staff who weren't black try to help cabs for me so I can get a cab, which is not the best experience. When I was young, I actually I took a cab to Cabbie Court. I don't know what it's called. And he was actually suspended for 6 months. And that was about the third or fourth time he had done that. So it's a very dehumanizing issue that many people may know about. Just wanted to know your feelings on thoughts on that and how that's going, and if it's still as bad as it was several years ago when I was taking cabs.
I think it's an extremely dehumanizing situation. One that it doesn't matter whether it's come down in levels, the fact that it continues at all is intolerable. So the response to that is that the agency has to take immediate enforcement action every time it's brought to our attention that a cab driver has made basically a race-based refusal. And drawing on my background from the CCRB, it is a real help to enforcement if passengers are vocal about it. When they experience degrading race-based refusal, reporting it to the TLC, even though that doesn't seem as fulfilling in the moment, you probably want to do something a little more physical, but that actually is the only way the agency can expand its enforcement and send a stronger message. So I would really encourage people that go through that to report it, and maybe that involves a little bit more public campaigning about the importance of reporting these things. But I am a strong proponent of enforcement, and I really believe that the agency has to have zero tolerance. You're welcome. One venue, I guess, is the passenger-facing monitor in the TV. The TLC has a certain amount of allotted time on that monitor, and that monitor can be a great way to send information out to people that ride in taxis. But I do think that it would be an issue like race-based refusals. You need a broader range of a public campaign, because if you couldn't get in the cab, it's going to be hard to see what happens on the film. So I would advocate for things at community board meetings, in community newsletters, some more grassroots methods of really telling people, don't be discouraged if it happens to you once. Complain, let's make sure something's done about it so that you actually eventually do become a satisfied taxi customer.
I just want to say I've taken a lot of cabs, a lot of professionalism, and a lot of great things, so I just want to put that out there. But I just want to double down on that, because I don't ever hearing, whether it was Commissioner Yaski or whoever before, a campaign such as that. I think that would be a key great change, to say that people are actually paying attention to this and have a public campaign to let people know that they can complain, where they complain, and it's a good venue to try to make a change. Thank you.